Have you noticed the quality of coffee isn't as good as it used to be? Let's see what we can do to bring some of that taste back.
Tastes as good as it smells every time. Maxwell House.
Hi, I'm Scott Bain. They call me the old farmer. I grew up back in the 50s. That's 1950s for the youngsters out there. My daddy brewed his coffee with a slow drip coffee pot using ground Maxwell House coffee. The grind was drip coffee. It came out of the can already ground. The coffee came from a 1-pound metal can and opened like a corned beef can today. Boy, this was good coffee with a good grab in the lower frequencies. Not a burned flavor, which is what I think of French roast coffee, which I know some people like, to each their own taste. At one time, I called up Maxwell House Coffee and asked them to bring back the blend. They did for a while, but it was a general grind and not quite the same. For me, there are many reasons why I'm called the old farmer. And one of them is I want real coffee with a rich flavor and that bite that's not quite bitter. Think of shrimp sauce with that low-frequency kick from the horseradish. The problem is the price of coffee is going through the roof today. In order not to chase away their customers, coffee brands are trying to keep prices stable in the store. This is being done by shrinking the size of the coffee can and by reducing the quality of the bean. They are buying lower quality beans. For those who don't know, the decaffeinated process does not take out any flavor. To recover the extra cost, they used cheaper beans. They think the public doesn't want to pay more for decaf coffee while insisting upon having it available. So I would recommend having an ad campaign, if I was a coffee maker, explaining decaffeinated coffee and how our brand of decaffeinated coffee costs a little more because we will not use institutional coffee beans to make our decaffeinated blend of coffee. You can taste the difference. If Starbucks could talk folks into spending $5 for their swill, you can talk folks into anything with a bit of time. Back a couple of years, you could be sloppy with your coffee making. Now you cannot. You have to make it by the book. No hedging because of the lower quality beans offered by the coffee companies. We gave up our fast drip coffee pot for percolated coffee. If you're careful not to burn the coffee, I believe it has a better flavor. But it takes watching it and a bit longer to brew. I don't like Colombian coffee because to keep the bitter out so it can sit on the burner all day, it doesn't have any flavor spikes that I like in coffee. Even the best Colombian coffee tastes flat to me. Of the real coffee available on the go, I would say Dunkin' Donuts has the best coffee with McDonald's acidic brew coming in second. As for those swill joints, I will not pay to drink their stuff. And yet you wonder if Santa Claus is real. It is for the folks who own such places. And I don't like flavored coffees either. Again, if you like it, you like it. I understand. I don't. But there are many of us who like a plain but rich flavor in a traditional coffee that has a low frequency spike. If you buy beans and grind your own, chew a bean and see if there's any taste in the bean. If you don't like the flavor this way, how are you going to like the taste when it's brewed? Roasted coffee beans can be eaten without harm. Even Maggie likes her 1 bean of coffee when I do the grinding. Be careful with caffeine in dogs. Caffeine is not good for dogs, so don't use coffee beans as a treat. Maggie gets only 1. Beans usually come split, so she actually gets only a half a bean when I grind our coffee. When making coffee, make it and brew it exactly as the instructions say. If you like stronger coffee, add more coffee. I am frustrated with the taste of the grocery store coffee. And even the special mail order beans aren't what they used to be. It seems that all the coffee is of lower quality and they do not reblend to help keep the flavor in the brew. We as coffee drinkers have no wiggle room when it comes to brewing coffee these days. For some of the best brewed coffee, percolate the coffee gently. Slow drip coffee is another good brewing process, as well as plain boiled coffee like the cowboys used to drink. Good stuff. Bring the pot loaded per instructions with coffee grounds and water. When percolating coffee, watch it so it will only perk about once in 3 seconds after it starts perking. You'll need to lower the temperature to keep the perk to this 3-second level. When the coffee is finished brewing, the burner may be as low as on the lowest setting and may still be perking. Let it perk for about 10 minutes for an 8-cup pot and you have some mighty fine coffee. The rule of thumb is perk 1 minute for every cup. I have never tried a vacuum press brew. I should think it's pretty good coffee too. However you brew your coffee, if it doesn't allow for steeping the grounds in water just below the boiling point, find a way to make it happen. It may mean plugging that Mr. Coffee machine drizzle hole and drilling a smaller hole so that the water stays in contact with the grounds longer. Try reducing the hole size first with several toothpicks to see if the water will overflow the basket. A slow drip coffee pot boils the water in a tea kettle, and it is poured into the top of the coffee pot where pin-size holes slowly drips the water, which is now just below the boiling point, onto the coffee grounds. The ground coffee becomes saturated with water and will weep into the bottom pot. After the coffee has brewed, the top 2 levels of the pot can be removed and a lid placed onto the bottom part of the pot. This is why I like percolated coffee, slow drip coffee, and boiled coffee more than I do a fast drip coffee maker. The point being, the more time that the water has with coffee grounds, up to a point, without boiling it to death, the more flavor and subtleties can come through with each cup. Instead of leaving it in the pot, we use a vacuum bottle and pour the coffee in it to keep it hot to the end of the day. It also keeps the volatiles in the coffee. If the coffee has cooled off a bit, 30 seconds in the microwave will top off the heat. To me, coffee is more than some caffeine. It's a ritual that picks me up and gives me a taste and smell experience that makes it a signal to start the day. I remember when I was in high school and getting up at 4:30 in the morning, my father and I would take the time to brew a pot of coffee and enjoy a cup before heading to the barn to milk the cows. Good coffee is an art, but you don't need to go to school to learn. Instead, watch what you're doing and don't let the volatiles boil off. Well, I think my coffee is about ready. Let me say thank you to all of you watching. Thank you. To those who subscribed and rang the bell and left a comment, thank you also. Each and every one of you are important to me and to the channel. For those who are first-time watchers, we're trying to reach that magical 1,000 subscribers so that YouTube will start offering pittances to us. We don't need much, but so far we've had to replace one camera and have ordered in a water-cooled computer tower to increase our efforts. That's right, a water-cooled computer. We aren't asking for money, just for folks subscribing and hanging in there until we reach our goal. We are getting the views. Since last week, we've had almost 1,000 more views of our videos. So when I say thank you, I really mean it. Thank you to all of you. Well, this is the old farmer, Scott Bain. Be well. Be safe.
Don't forget to click like and click subscribe on the Old Farmer YouTube channel. And thanks again for watching. Bye.
The VFW National Home for Children, providing families of veterans and active duty military opportunities for growth and development in a nurturing community. Please consider a donation to help their children and families. I.C. Rhodes speaking.